Arrival is a film about the way that language reshapes reality, about how learning to see time differently changes not just what we know, but what we choose. And at its heart, it asks, what would you do if you knew the end before the beginning, or at the same time? Louise Banks is a linguist, and she is invited to communicate with an alien race. Their language is unlike anything that humans know. It doesn't move in straight lines, it moves in circles. Sentences begin and end at once. To learn the language is to step outside of time, and as Louise learns, she begins to see her own future. She sees both joy and grief. She sees the love that will come and the loss that will follow. What makes Arrival powerful isn't just the science fiction aspect of it, the beautiful cinematography, Denis Villeneuve's amazing direction. It's the way that every character embodies a worldview that is shaped by differing understandings and levels of the zero-sum game, something that they point out specifically in the movie. Ian, the scientist, is the best example of this. He insists from the get-go that science is better than language.
Well, the cornerstone of civilization isn't language, it's science.
For him, if one wins, the other must lose. He tries to change, he tries to shift, but what we see ultimately is that he is not present for the death that happens later on in the movie, because he has chosen to see that the connection that he could have and the possibility of loss is not worth the depth of connection that you can have in the moment. He sees his child as a zero-sum game.
Despite knowing the journey and where it leads, I embrace it.
Nations also play the zero-sum game. Chinese uses mahjong titles to speak to the aliens, which is a game of loss and winning. The CIA agent who's there assumes that every single thing must come with leverage.
Priority one. What do they want? Where are they from?
Okay, this is where you want to get to, right?
Here's the question.
Okay.
Even the question, what is your purpose here, presumes conflict. That's the question that they ask the aliens, that they have to try and gain the language to be able to say. Purpose, to them, at least in the government, means advantage. Louise alone refuses this game. She doesn't see the world in transaction. She connects to the heptapods non-competitively and non-defensively. In the moment that she names them, that's when her mind starts to rewire, and recognizing them, she begins to transcend the experience of time as a linear construct. She learns truth is larger than any bargain or equation, and that creation is always worth it, even when the loss is guaranteed. And this is the true medicine of Arrival. Most of us live as casual time travelers, even now. We relive memories and we reshape them as we relive them. We imagine possible futures and we pull one towards us. But Arrival makes visible what is always true, that time is not a straight line and life is not a ledger to be balanced. The choice is never between creation without loss or loss without creation. The choice is whether to embrace both. Louise chooses both.
If you could see your whole life from start to finish, would you change things?
She chooses to live the joy of love, knowing grief will come. She chooses to create anyway. Arrival teaches us that life is never a zero-sum game. To create is to know loss will follow, and to choose creation anyway. That is the only way to live in the fullness of time and in the fullness of life. So how do you choose to embrace the inevitable loss or destruction that comes with living? How do you start to look at life as not just a zero-sum game? They win, I lose, they win. If we recognize that people and connections come to us for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, we honor that connection. Even if we also regret it, we see that every person and connection is a drop that contributes to our vitality. Sometimes they're lessons, sometimes they're springboards or villains, and sometimes they're bringing us love, connections, and opportunities to deepen our gratitude. And for those who love with this perspective, accepting the loss with the gain, transcending into the non-zero-sum game, suddenly the measures that we judge our lives and choices by changes. That is when maybe we learn a little bit to live life, not about the avoidance of loss, but about the depth of connection while you have it. Not for the future, but for the moment. The power of now lies in its facilitation of experiencing all time simultaneously. And we don't need an alien language to discover that. This is Movies from Beyond. I'm Kristina Wiltsee. Please interact. It helps our small channel.